20 things from the 1960s kids today will never understand. Hold on to your poodle skirts and fire up your lava lamps, because we're blasting back to the 1960s. Forget iPhones and Google. These kids rocked pogo sticks and rotary phones. Can you imagine sharing a phone line with your entire neighborhood, or relying on a paper map to navigate? Get ready to have your mind blown as we reveal 20 everyday things from the groovy 60s that will leave today's kids utterly baffled, like totally clueless. Who remember? Number 20, a puff of smoke and mirrors. The rise and fall of cigarette ads on TV. For years, lighting up a cigarette was painted as the epitome of cool on American television. Imagine those classic images, handsome men puffing away, glamorous women with cigarettes in their elegant holders. Tobacco companies poured money into crafting these seductive commercials, trying to convince everyone that smoking was harmless, even desirable. But behind the smoke and mirrors, a darker truth was emerging. Scientists were uncovering the deadly link between cigarettes and devastating diseases like lung cancer. As evidence mounted, tobacco companies fought back with misleading ads, trying to confuse the public and downplay the risks. Competition in the industry intensified, with companies pushing new filtered brands as a supposed solution. Yet, those TV commercials remained silent on the real dangers, leaving viewers in the dark. By the late 60s, the truth couldn't be ignored. The connection between cigarettes and serious illnesses was undeniable. In an unprecedented move, Congress stepped in and banned cigarette commercials from television, starting in 1971. Fast forward to today, and smoking is banned in most public places. This has led to a significant drop in smoking-related deaths from heart disease and lung cancer. But the question remains, with cigarette ads gone from the airwaves, what filled the void? What messages replaced them? Especially during children's programming. Number 19. Remember Smokey Bear? Those important messages tucked inside cartoons. Back in the 1960s, American kids got a dose of valuable life lessons along with their Saturday morning cartoons. These weren't commercials trying to sell you the latest toy. They were called public service announcements, and they had something important to teach. One of the most memorable examples starred a friendly bear named Smokey. With his signature ranger hat and gentle voice, he delivered a powerful message: only you can prevent forest fires. These words stuck with a generation, teaching kids about respecting nature and taking responsibility for their actions. And Smokey wasn't alone. These public service announcements, often tucked between cartoons, covered all sorts of topics, from reminding kids to look both ways before crossing the street to encouraging kindness and helping others. Think of it like this. Cartoons were a powerful way to connect with young minds. By slipping in these short but impactful messages, creators weren't just entertaining, they were encouraging kids to be better citizens and make thoughtful choices. Number 18. Hitting the open road. When Sunday drives ruled family fun. Picture this, it's the 1960s, gas is cheap, and shiny new cars are rolling off assembly lines, making car ownership a reality for many American families. This wasn't just about getting from A to B. It sparked a love affair with the open road. With brand new highways stretching across the country, families embraced the Sunday drive. Imagine piling into the car. No destination in mind, just the joy of exploring the countryside together. It was a chance to soak in the scenery, discover hidden gems, and simply enjoy each other's company. Of course, vacations got a whole lot more exciting too. Families could easily pile into their trusty vehicles and set off on grand adventures to national parks, beaches, or whatever wonders beckoned from afar. And who could forget the drive-in theater? This beloved pastime offered families an affordable and fun night out. Imagine watching a movie under the stars from the comfort of your own car. Pure magic. Essentially, the combination of affordable gas, readily available cars, and a rapidly expanding network of roads turned family road trips into a defining part of American culture in the 1960s. It was a time when the journey was just as important as the destination, and the open road symbolized freedom and adventure. Number 17. Remember when phone numbers had names? Imagine dialing a friend, and instead of punching in numbers, you used a combination of letters and numbers, like Klondike 51234. It might sound strange now, but that's how things rolled before the 1960s. Those two-letter prefixes weren't just random. They were called named exchanges, and they told you something important: the neighborhood where the phone was located. For example, KL might have stood for King's Landing, and B for Belltown. It was a system born in the 1930s, a time when phone numbers were shorter and simpler. And if you've ever wondered why phones still have letters on the buttons, well, that's a relic of those alphanumeric days. But progress, as they say, marches on. In the 1960s, phone companies decided to ditch the charm of named exchanges for a more efficient all-number system. It might have made sense practically, but not everyone was thrilled. A group in San Francisco, the Anti-Digit Dialing League, staged playful protests, arguing that all-number dialing took the personality out of phone calls. Looking back, this quirk of old phone systems makes us wonder about privacy. Your number practically revealed your address. But this era also gave rise to the phenomenon of party lines. Now, imagine sharing your phone line with another household. It meant your conversations weren't always private, but it also fostered a unique sense of community. So while we've embraced the ease of all-digit dialing, there's a certain charm to those old-fashioned phone numbers with names. They remind us of a time when technology, while simpler, often had a more personal touch. Number 16. Remember party lines when everyone was listening in. Imagine picking up the phone to make a call, and instead of privacy, you're suddenly part of a neighborhood-wide conversation. That's exactly what life was like with party lines, a quirky system that connected multiple homes on a single phone line. Think of it like a gossipy group chat, but with rotary dials and a lot more eavesdropping. Each house on the party line had a distinct ring pattern, so you knew when the call was for you. But here's the catch: anyone on the shared line could listen in on your conversations. It wasn't exactly ideal for juicy gossip or sharing personal secrets. But back then, especially in rural areas and small towns, party lines were the norm. This system thrived in the mid-20th century when individual lines were simply too expensive or technologically challenging. However, as technology advanced, private phone lines became more affordable and widely available. People were finally free to chat without their neighbors inadvertently tuning in. Unsurprisingly, the era of shared phone lines and unintentional eavesdropping slowly faded away. Looking back, party lines offer a funny yet intriguing glimpse into a time when phone calls were far from private. It was a system that forced people to be mindful of their conversations, fostered a unique sense of community, and perhaps even added a little extra spice to everyday life. What did you experience in the 1960s? Share your stories in the comments below. Number 15. Before delete there was this, the messy reality of typewriter ribbons. Think typing is as simple as tapping keys on a sleek keyboard. Travel back to the 1960s and meet the manual typewriter, a clunky contraption with a charmingly messy secret, the typewriter ribbon. Imagine this: you're typing away, words flowing onto the page, when suddenly the letters become faint, almost ghostly. The culprit: a tired, ink-starved ribbon. Just like printers today need new cartridges, typewriters relied on these fabric ribbons to transfer ink to the paper. But changing a typewriter ribbon wasn't as simple as pressing a button. It was a delicate operation involving threading the ribbon through a maze of tiny loops and springs, all while trying not to get ink all over your fingers. It was an art form, really, and a stark contrast to the clean, digital typing experience we know today. The next time you effortlessly delete a typo, take a moment to appreciate how technology has evolved. Those messy typewriter ribbons, a source of frustration and amusement in their time, remind us just how far we've come in the digital age. Number 14. Remember when getting lost was part of the adventure? Navigating the pre-digital world. These days, getting around is as easy as tapping an address into your phone. But before Google Maps and GPS became our trusty sidekicks, finding your way was an adventure in itself. Picture this, it's the 1960s, and you're planning a road trip. Forget instant directions at your fingertips, you'd be huddled over a giant paper map, carefully plotting your route, and those intricate folds. Let's just say they were a test of patience. Services like MapQuest were cutting edge, providing printed directions that often became treasured artifacts on long journeys. But a wrong turn could send you scrambling for those maps, trying to decipher your location. Of course, asking friendly locals for guidance was always an option, sometimes leading to unexpected detours and charming encounters. And let's not forget the importance of landmarks. Remember those hand-drawn maps with instructions like turn left at the big oak tree? Yes, navigating back then required a keen eye for detail, a sense of adventure, and maybe even a touch of intuition. People became skilled at reading maps, orienting themselves, and trusting their instincts. It was a time when getting lost wasn't always a bad thing, often leading to unexpected discoveries and memorable stories. Number 13. Before Control-C, there was carbon paper, the odd duplication hack. Imagine a world without copy machines. No, really, try to imagine it. It might seem strange, but in the days before photocopiers were commonplace, people relied on a rather ingenious invention, carbon paper. Picture this thin, almost magical paper, coated with a special ink on one side. Well, want to make a copy of a letter, a document, or maybe even an important recipe? You'd place a sheet of this carbon paper between two regular sheets of paper, the coated side facing down. Then, using a typewriter or good old-fashioned penmanship, you'd write on the top sheet, pressing down firmly. And like magic, the pressure transferred the ink from the carbon paper onto the blank sheet below, creating an instant copy. Carbon paper was the go-to method for duplication in offices, homes, and schools. Sure, it could get a bit messy, inky fingers were a common sight, and making multiple copies was tedious, but it got the job done, ensuring that important documents could be replicated and shared without the need for fancy machines. So, the next time you effortlessly hit Control-C to copy something, take a moment to appreciate the humble ingenuity of carbon paper. This simple yet brilliant invention reminds us that even in a pre-digital age, people found clever ways to share and preserve information. Number 12. Remember when TV said goodnight? The lost ritual of signing off. Imagine this, you're curled up on the couch, enjoying a show, when suddenly, static. A test pattern with weird shapes and colors fills the screen. It's not a glitch, it's the 1960s, and television is calling it a night. Hard to believe in our world of endless streaming, but back then, TV stations actually signed off the air. It usually happened late at night, marked by the playing of the national anthem or a simple goodnight message. The screen would then go dark, leaving only the faint hum of the television set as a reminder of the day's entertainment. This nightly ritual might seem strange to today's generation, accustomed to on-demand entertainment, but imagine how this sign-off shaped daily rhythms. It signaled the end of the day, a cue to wind down, maybe read a book, or simply get some sleep. And then there's the anticipation it built for the next day's programming. Without endless streaming options, those few hours of television each day felt precious. So, the next time you find yourself scrolling through a sea of on-demand content, spare a thought for the days when TV said goodnight. It was a simpler time, a reminder of how technology has transformed not just our entertainment habits, but the very rhythm of our lives. Number 11. Before Google, there was groovy knowledge. The Encyclopedia Era. These days, kids can find answers to almost anything with a quick online search. But rewind to the 1960s, and knowledge came with a distinct thunk, the satisfying sound of opening a hefty encyclopedia. Picture this, instead of sleek tablets, imagine towering shelves filled with these multi-volume sets, each book a treasure trove of information on everything from ancient history to zoology. Need to write a report on the Civil War or unravel the mysteries of photosynthesis? Time to crack open an encyclopedia. Unlike today's instant search results, finding information in these printed tomes was an adventure in itself. Kids would carefully scan indexes, flip through pages, and sometimes get pleasantly sidetracked by fascinating facts and illustrations. It was a tactile, immersive experience that encouraged patience, observation, and a genuine love for learning. So, the next time your child effortlessly finds an answer online, share a story about the days of encyclopedias. It's a charming reminder of how technology has revolutionized access to information, while also highlighting the unique joy of discovering knowledge at your own pace. Which part of the content above impressed you the most? Leave your answer in the comments section. Number 10. Clack, whir, total. The nostalgic charm of adding machines. Remember those satisfying keyboard clicks in old movies set in offices? Those were the sounds of progress, powered by the mighty adding machine. Forget sleek calculators or spreadsheets. In the 1960s, these mechanical marvels were the backbone of accounting departments everywhere. Imagine this. Instead of tapping numbers into a calculator, you'd punch them into the adding machine's keys with a satisfying clunk. Each calculation would appear on a roll of paper, spitting out like a never-ending receipt. It was a tangible record of your work, mistakes and all. And speaking of mistakes, no backspace or delete key here. One wrong digit, and it was back to square one, carefully re-entering the entire equation. While kids today might find this method tedious, there was a certain charm to these clunky machines. The rhythmic whirring as they crunched numbers, the tangible paper trail. It was a tactile and engaging way to work with numbers. So, the next time you effortlessly calculate a sum on your phone, take a moment to appreciate the humble adding machine. It's a reminder that sometimes the most satisfying results come with a bit of effort and a whole lot of clacking keys. Number 9. Remember when soda cans were litter bugs? The pull tab problem. Imagine a time when every sip of soda came with a side of environmental hazard. It's hard to believe, but in the early 1960s, soda cans were notorious litter bugs, all thanks to those seemingly convenient pull tabs. Those early pull tabs were simple to use, just grab and rip, but there was a major design flaw. Once the can was open, the entire tab would detach, becoming a tiny, sharp-edged piece of litter just waiting to happen. And sadly, people tossed them everywhere. Streets, parks, beaches, these metal tabs were practically inescapable. The problem got so out of hand that people began to realize the impact on the environment. Thankfully, this sparked a wave of innovation. Enter the modern soda can, with its ingenious stay-attached tab. This simple yet brilliant design change drastically reduced litter, proving that convenience and sustainability can, in fact, go hand in hand. So, the next time you pop open a soda, take a moment to appreciate that little tab. It's a testament to how even small design changes can have a big impact on our planet, a refreshing reminder to always think about the footprint we leave behind. Number 8. Remember Filmstrip projectors, the click-clack of classroom learning. These days, classrooms buzz with interactive whiteboards and flashy presentations. But travel back to the 1960s, and you'd find a different kind of classroom technology captivating students, the Filmstrip projector. Imagine this: the lights dim, a low hum fills the room, and a beam of light illuminates a screen at the front of the class. The teacher, with a click and a whir, advances the film strip, revealing frame by frame, captivating images accompanied by the teacher's voice, bringing lessons to life. From history and science to geography and music, these film strips covered a vast array of subjects. A window to the world beyond textbooks, captivating students with vibrant visuals and engaging narratives. The pace was slower, more deliberate, allowing time for observation, reflection, and discussion. Those clicks and clacks of the projector, the faint whir of the fan, they were the soundtrack to countless classroom memories. So, the next time you see a high-tech presentation, take a moment to appreciate the simple elegance of the Filmstrip projector. It's a charming reminder of a time when learning was a multi-sensory experience, where each click brought a new discovery. Number 7. The Milkman Cometh. Remembering a time of doorstep deliveries. These days, we grab our milk from brightly lit supermarket aisles, surrounded by countless brands and varieties. But journey back to the 1960s, and the experience was utterly charming thanks to the milkman's daily rounds. Picture this: the sun peaks over the horizon, birds chirp merrily, and the rhythmic clinking of glass bottles signals the arrival of the milkman. He'd pull up in his trusty truck, expertly delivering fresh milk right to your doorstep before most people's day even began. Those iconic glass bottles, nestled securely in milk boxes, were a symbol of freshness and dependability. It was a system built on trust and consistency. Families could count on the milkman to provide a vital staple for their breakfast tables, eliminating the need for frequent trips to the store. But the milkman's service was about more than just convenience. It fostered a sense of community, a connection between the milkman and the families he served. The familiar clinking of bottles, the friendly greetings exchanged on front porches, these small interactions added a touch of warmth to everyday life. While the milkman's daily deliveries have largely faded into the past, the memories remain a nostalgic reminder of a simpler time when fresh, wholesome goods were just a doorstep away. Number 6. Before email, there were love letters, the art of writing on paper. Today, communication is instant. We dash off texts, fire up emails, and video chat across continents in the blink of an eye. But back in the 1960s, staying connected was a slower, more deliberate process, often penned with care on beautifully crafted stationery. Imagine this: you'd settle into a quiet corner, a cup of tea steaming nearby, and uncop your favorite pen. Thoughts and feelings would flow onto paper, transforming into words that would soon travel miles to reach a loved one. It wasn't just about conveying information, it was an art form. Choosing the right stationery, crafting each sentence with care, addressing the envelope with a flourish. Every step was imbued with intention and heart. And then, the anticipation of a reply. Those handwritten letters, arriving days or weeks later, were cherished treasures, read and reread, tucked away in boxes to be savored for years to come. Letter writing in the 1960s was a way to nurture relationships across distances, to share stories and secrets, to express emotions with a depth and thoughtfulness often lost in today's digital exchanges. So, the next time you type out a quick message, take a moment to appreciate the bygone era of letter writing. It was a slower, more romantic form of communication, a testament to the power of words to connect hearts and bridge distances. Comment 1 if you enjoyed the content above. Number 5. Spin It Right, the art of playing records in the 1960s. Long before Spotify playlists and digital downloads, there was a certain magic to experiencing music through the warm crackle of a vinyl record. But in the 1960s, listening to your favorite tunes involved more than just dropping the needle. It required mastering the art of RPMs. Picture this: you've got your turntable all set up, ready to groove, but wait. Before you cue up that Elvis Presley single or the Beatles' latest album, you've got to make sure the record player is spinning at the right speed. See, back then, records came in 3 main speeds: 33, 45, and 78 revolutions per minute. Each speed corresponded to a specific type of record, ensuring the music played at the correct pitch and tempo. It was like a secret code for unlocking the full sonic glory of vinyl. Getting it right was crucial. A 45 RPM single played at 33 would sound sluggish and distorted, while a 78 RPM spun too slowly would be almost unrecognizable. Adjusting the speed was a bit like fine-tuning a musical instrument, allowing the music to come alive with the energy and vibrancy it was meant to have. So next time you hit play on your digital music player, remember those days of carefully setting the RPM and dropping the needle. It was an era when listening to music was a hands-on experience, a delightful fusion of technology and oral artistry. Number 4. Where everybody knows your name, the soda fountain Heyday. Forget sleek coffee shops with Wi-Fi and to-go cups in the 1960s. The heart of a community beat at the local soda fountain. These weren't just places to grab a quick drink, they were social hubs where friendships were forged, romances blossomed, and laughter filled the air. Imagine stepping into one of these time capsules. A long, gleaming counter lined with brightly colored stools, the air thick with the sweet aroma of syrups and freshly brewed coffee. Behind the counter, the soda jerk, a master craftsman of fizzy concoctions, worked their magic. Need a cherry Coke? No problem. A chocolate soda with extra whipped cream. Coming right up. The soda fountain was a symphony of flavors, a place where personalized service was the norm and each drink was a tiny masterpiece. But the true magic lay in the atmosphere. Friends would gather after school or work. Couples would share a sundae and stolen glances. And neighbors would catch up on the latest happenings. It was a place where everyone seemed to know your name, where conversation flowed as freely as the sodas, and where a sense of community thrived. While the soda fountain era may have faded, the memories linger like the sweet aftertaste of a perfectly blended milkshake. They remind us of a time when socializing meant disconnecting from screens and connecting with people, savoring simple pleasures, and creating memories that would last a lifetime. Number 3. The days when hosing down the driveway was a thing. Picture this, it's a sunny Saturday morning in the 1960s, and the familiar sound of a garden hose spraying water fills the air. It's not a kiddie pool party, it's just the neighbors giving their driveways their weekly washdown. Back then, using a hose to clean outdoor surfaces was as common as mowing the lawn. A blast of water seemed like the simplest, most satisfying way to banish dirt and grime, leaving driveways sparkling clean. It was a straightforward approach, with little thought given to the amount of water being used. But as our understanding of environmental issues has evolved, so too has our awareness of water conservation. Carefree days of spraying down driveways with abandon have given way to a more mindful approach. These days, we're encouraged to swap the hose for eco-friendly alternatives like brooms, rakes, or electric pressure washers, which use significantly less water. It's a shift in mindset, a recognition that even simple, everyday actions can have an impact on our precious resources. So, the next time you reach for the hose, take a moment to consider those bygone days when water conservation wasn't top of mind. It's a reminder of how far we've come in our understanding of environmental responsibility, and an invitation to make sustainable choices in even the most mundane of tasks. Number 2. Remember green stamps. The thrill of saving before cash back. Long before the days of credit card points and digital rewards programs, there was a uniquely satisfying way to stretch your shopping dollars by collecting green stamps. Imagine this, you're checking out at the grocery store, and along with your bag of groceries, the cashier hands you a booklet of colorful stamps. These weren't just any stamps, they were like a bonus currency. Green stamps were a reward system offered by participating stores throughout the 1960s. For every purchase, you'd receive a certain number of stamps based on the amount spent. It was like a treasure hunt for savvy shoppers. Families would meticulously fill their stamp booklets, carefully licking and sticking each one into place, a strangely satisfying activity in itself. Once they had accumulated enough, they could redeem them for a variety of exciting rewards. Think toasters, radios, kitchen appliances, and even furniture. Those green stamps weren't just pieces of paper, they were tangible symbols of savings and rewards, adding an element of anticipation and delight to everyday shopping. While the green stamp era might seem quaint in today's digital age, it's a charming reminder of a time when rewards were physical and the act of saving was a tangible and satisfying pursuit.
Hey! What's that kid?
Number 1. Before video games, there was the mighty Pogo stick. Forget fancy gadgets and high-tech toys. In the 1960s, simple pleasures ruled, and the Pogo stick was king. This unassuming contraption, with its metal pole, footrists, and springy base, provided endless hours of outdoor entertainment. Picture this, neighborhood kids, their laughter echoing through the streets as they bounced up and down. their faces lit up with pure joy. Mastering the pogo stick wasn't just child's play, it was a badge of honor. It required balance, coordination, and a healthy dose of determination. Remember the wobbly first attempts, the inevitable tumbles, followed by the triumphant moment when you finally found your rhythm. Each bounce was a victory, a testament to persistence and practice. Kids would challenge each other to jump higher, perform tricks, or see who could stay upright the longest. The pogo stick wasn't just a toy, it was a source of endless fun, friendly competition, and a powerful reminder that sometimes the simplest things bring the greatest joy. So, the next time you see a child glued to a screen, tell them about the pogo stick craze of the 1960s. It's a nostalgic reminder that true fun is timeless, often found in the simplest of pleasures, powered by imagination and a good dose of old-fashioned effort. Wow, can you believe those relics from the 1960s? It's amazing how much life has changed, even just in a few decades. From clunky adding machines to the simple thrill of a pogo stick, it's clear that some things from the past, while outdated, still hold a certain charm. Did we miss any of your favorite blasts from the past? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more nostalgic journeys. Don't forget to share this video with someone who remembers those good old days. Thanks for watching.